So we obviously were working away here at home, and look who's decided to join me. So
we've got half an hour before I go get the kids.
Yep. So again, what time are you up at this morning?
I was working at 5 o'clock this morning.
So for the customers that tell us that we don't put enough time and effort into running our business, what would you like to say to them?
Well, I was submitting a VAT report I worked on it from about, I come down at 5:25, got my coffee, logged on, and I was late getting up for my shower at 8:15. So I worked from all that time this morning.
So you worked from, what did you say, 5 what?
Say 5:30 to 8:30.
5:30 to 8:30 before you then started
another job,
which was get the kids ready and then take them out of school care because you were working in your other job.
I was supposed to be 9:30 till 2:30, but I was a bit late today, so I was 10 until, back at 3, finished about 3:20.
So for again, what would you like to say to the customers that say we don't put enough time and effort into this?
I could probably give up sleeping if they wanted, I don't know how I'll survive, but
that whole aspect of don't spend any time with your family, don't spend any time away from working.
Again, it must be stated that we didn't get home last night until nearly 10 o'clock. Sammy was still up at 11:15 by the time he wanted to spend time with you and me because he'd been out all day, and I was up again at 5 this morning to try and get some work done before I had to go to my other job because I can't work in my other job. And then I'm down the road, it's 3:30, I'll get 5 minutes a piece, well, probably housework, and catch up with you, do the filming, and then it's pick the kids up, give them a dinner, they need a shower. We're supposed to be going to a friend's party tomorrow night.
That's only if that specific customer that's gave us a hard time about not putting enough time into our customers is allowing that, because you know how we have to ask permission for these things.
At this shape, we've still got to work all day tomorrow. I've got work to do tomorrow morning after I drop them at aftercare and back down the road to do some more work. Scott's going to be working on the front end of the website, so I will be pedal to the metal, finish off the pricing, get the rest of the stuff bulk uploaded onto the website so that it can all be filtered. So that's got to be done. So that's what we got, 10 days to do that till he's finished the front end roughly. So I'll be working on that tomorrow. Hopefully
that'll be able to go live. We'll be able to get rid of the website that I've just shown on the video that doesn't work.
So we'll hopefully get rid of the website that doesn't work. And then after that we need to migrate our emails off of the server we're on because they're getting into a big black abyss and not getting sent properly. Something to do with safety, the security certificate. It's bouncing it back, even bouncing the emails, they just disappear. So I need to then contact Microsoft and have our 6 email addresses migrated onto Outlook, OneDrive, whatever it is it's called, and off of FastHosts that we're on just now. Then we can stop using FastHosts, that server company, and then we can take the WordPress site offline and put Shopify up the front. And at some point in amongst all that, we've still got the wedding to plan, and we've got our 12-week appointment coming up, and RSVPs flooding in quicker than I can read them, and I've got no time to do it. And then you've got your Saturday, potentially Sammy, depending how tired Sammy is. If we go to this party on Friday night, will depend on whether he gets to, he's learned to play on the Saturday morning. If he's too late in his bed, he'll not be going to learn to play, because he's a nightmare if he's tired. And then it's straight to the shop. We'll be working in the shop, and then we might get 5 minutes peace on Saturday night if you're not editing, and then Sunday is family day.
Remember, I'm only allowed 1 day a week for social media as well, so...
Well, you've been editing on Saturday nights, most Saturday nights.
Free time. It's not like I'm doing this in shop times, but hey, it's, as I try to explain, the reason why we do the social media stuff as much as we have in the last couple of weeks is to try and get advertisement, to drive business to the store. If we don't have business and cash flow, then we go bust, which means that diplomatically people round about won't be able to get their skates sharpened, they won't be able to buy equipment from close to home, they won't be able to get their stuff repaired, because it's not like I'm going to continue to do this if the shop goes bust.
I know that there's other people out there, I know that we're not alone, and there is other people that work just as hard as us and just as much as us, but they see us open only a handful of days a week and think that's all the work that goes into this. It's really, really, really not.
Like I said as well, in the early days though, sure, I had 3 jobs.
In the first few months we opened 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, And 2 days a week we worked 9 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, and we worked Monday to Saturday, because you still worked Sunday. Sports Centre on a Sunday, so you were working 7 days, and you wouldn't see a customer before 1 o'clock. So that's where the opening hours came from. But just because we're closed doesn't mean that we're not working, because we've got work to do in the morning, and then I've got my other job to fit in. By all means, if you just want to pay somebody else to be in the shop while I go and do my job and we open, then, you know, start coming to the shop more often. Start using us instead of your big online brands.
Well, that's what I was trying to explain. The big online brands, example being with their orders and stuff like that, I kind of said to them in the earlier part of the video that if we don't have something in stock and the bigger brands don't have something in stock, they have to go through the same distributors that we need to go through to be able to get that. Now, if we have a customer telling us, it's happened quite a few times, we could get this within 24 hours from a different store. They then refund an order from us, get an order from another store,
and run into the same problem.
Yep, exactly.
What they need to remember as well is the shops with the big presences online, I'm not going to name them, you all know who they are. They are in a part of the country that has a massive amount of footfall, therefore they can have a far bigger stock behind them. They've got more people coming in, they've got bigger tournaments locally, far more junior developments, far more semi-pro, pro teams using the shops all the time. There's a lot more wealth in that part of the country, so there's a lot more ability to replace skates twice a season, change gloves 3 and 4 times a season. Scotland as a whole doesn't have that ability to have, we're not all made of money, we're really not. You know, we're not dropping our kids off at the rink in Lamborghinis and all sorts. That's not what happens here. So we can't have a massive amount of stock behind us. We have a small store. We don't even have a stock room anymore. We used to have the corridor in the old shop, but we don't have that anymore. Literally what's on the shop floor is it. Well, apart from our dribble in our toilet, but that's turned into a Henry Hoover stall. So if we don't have it in stock, we have to get it from the supplier. When it's the summertime, if my order is under a certain level of value, you're talking £25 for a courier. If I have to order more than 1 stick at a time, I have to order 6 sticks at a time, so that the carrier for the longer charge on the stick boxes. So stick boxes didn't used to be counted as additional cost item. It is now. It's about £30 to ship a stick, roughly, give or take. Depending on what part of the country. So if it goes up north or it goes to Northern Ireland, you've got then an added surcharge on top of that. So I think my recent bill came in for two packages that went out. They weren't even massive packages, and the entire bill came to £50. So if we get a pair of skates that's £100 and I ask for that for the supplier for the very next day, that's £25 I've got to pay. So there's a profit margin on that item. I've got to hold it. I've got to hold it till there's enough to send the order into the supplier. In the summertime, we can go 3 weeks before we've got enough to cover postage. We try not to leave it as long as that. We do try to ship shorter time scales, but then you obviously run into the point that I'm sure Stephen's already explained. The summertime is when the new season stock comes in. It comes in the summer months, mainly in the middle of July, the middle to the end of July. We've got Graph not coming in until August. So there's different periods in time. They ship a massive container at the one time. It comes in. They do get deliveries throughout the season, but this is called what's called a booking order, and it comes in the summer months and it restocks all the stock, and usually will run till Christmas time. Once you get through Christmas, normally there's another booking order arrives about February time, and that will keep you going. It's a smaller order, but it keeps you going through to the new brands come out, the new lines come out, and the new stock arrives in the July time again. They used to product release in April, then it was May, but both CCM and Bauer have pushed their product release dates back to the end of June. There's a reason for that, because the stock doesn't become available till July. When an item is released, the larger stores will pre-book, and they have the ability to pre-book their items in, say, February, and they'll get it for the release date. So they'll pre-book and pay for their massive orders in February. You know, you're talking 3 figures for some stores. Well, no, 3 figures, 300,000, 300,000 or whatever figures. You know, tens of hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of stock. they'll pre-book that in February, pay for it, and then they'll not get it till, say, first week in June, second week in June. We don't have that luxury, so we've got to wait for the supplier to get it in order for us to access the stock. Recently, the top end equipment isn't as ready and available as quickly for us. Well, it's not available at all for Bauer, but it isn't as readily available for the likes of CCM either, because the bigger stores will get that first. Then, you know, we'll come on at the back and be able to get, if you're looking for your top end skates or whatever. So that's a kind of rough idea of how the supply chain works for us. A back order from the likes of CCM can take anywhere between 5 and 6 weeks. It used to be about 3 to 4 weeks, but Brexit slowed that down. Coming through HMRC, Customs and Exiles takes time. Bauer's a bit faster. Don't really know why, because they come from the same part of the world. Bauer is round about, you can sometimes get it in 2 weeks, sometimes it's 3 weeks. Warriors usually pretty quickly, they're usually 2 to 3 weeks. Graph can take 6 months.
I would say explaining that there was a specific figure skate.
Ideas.
Oh, you've called it. I've kept it quiet. I didn't say what one it was.
Oh, right, okay, you can cut that.
Well,
no, well, everybody, the whole world knows the problem with the day, and it's not our supplier's fault, and it's really not the brand's fault. The main issue with Idea is the popularity. So, top 3 models, Fly, Piano Fly and Concerto. If you don't find it somewhere in the UK stock, you're going to wait 5-6 months to get it, and that is worldwide known.
I was explaining earlier on that there was a Chinese international student that came over here to...
She ordered in September and didn't get them to the May.
It was like 6-7 months or something like that by the time she got them. But again, this is where we were saying, we were saying, I was saying, the difference between a good customer and a bad customer is some of the customers that are willing to wait, and some of the customers that understand the situation of what we're in, what up against with. I know a lot of people think it's just excuses, but people will then understand that there is time it's going to take for products to get here, and if it takes time, then if they're willing to wait, then that's fine. But for every 100 decent customers we get the one Karen that wants to cause major drama over the head of
We've had it all over the years. Remember the time that you had your knee operation?
I spoke about that, and how the woman came in and berated you about how there was no services, but meanwhile I couldn't put any weight on my leg because I just had...
And I said about my childcare, we didn't have childcare with you being off, and I couldn't leave the kids at home with you, and she says, well, that's your problem. Or some words to that effect. It's that long ago, I can't remember what she actually said.
So I diplomatically called that person an oxygen thief.
Well, yeah, there's a fair few of them. We'll probably get absolutely slated for this, but yeah. There's been lots over the years. Remember the I'm going to sue you for your laces?
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
See that big bad bug that was about?
That works.
So the big bad bug that we all suffered in 2020, and the after effects of that is people don't know. They spent so much time isolated.
I covered that. Said that people don't know how to deal with people. They don't know how to talk to people, and they become very, very self-entitled.
I had that conversation with the guy in the garage the other day, and they said they're exactly the same. It's everywhere. Maybe people should take a wee chill pill and understand that not everybody's out to take the piss. I think the problem with everybody is everybody goes to the same, they go straight to the conclusion that everybody's taking the piss out of them and scamming them, and sometimes people like us will just get that much on our plate that it's a wee bit hard to juggle it all at times.
I was trying to split that again. If you'd have been here when I talked about most of this, it's basically saying that they don't realise what we do on a day-to-day basis.
They don't understand.
Obviously, it's our responsibility. We've got the kids. They're the first protocol. They're losing out on time with us because we're working multiple jobs. I'm in the process of trying to get another job because you people won't come and buy stuff from our store. So diplomatically, I need to find some other source of income. The Sharpmans are down, the repairs are down, the sales are down. So
people just don't have the money, and we get that. We understand that the cost of living crisis is squeezing everything to the last penny. So if you can get it £5 cheaper online and 2 days faster, then but apparently that's what you do.
But here's the situation: a lot of people go and decide to get things £5 cheaper elsewhere, but then they forget that when they buy stuff through us, that extra £5 could go towards a heat mould and a sharpening.
Well,
and
every
then,
pair of skates purchased from us has your complimentary first sharpening, and if they are thermoformable, your complimentary first heat mould as well. Plus any punching, any fitting, and any shape work to the blades. It is all included in your price of your skate,
but then at the
which
same
can
point,
run into hundreds of pounds.
So again, say for example, off the top of your head, what is the cost of a first sharpening and a heat mould? What do we charge?
So if you're coming in and your first sharpening heat mould is 15 for your first sharpening, £20 for your heat mould. If you're having them punched, that's £5 per skate. So there's another tenner. So there's £45. If you're having your blade rockered or profiled, there's £25. So before you know it, you've hit 60 quid just for your services. That is included
To save a fiver.
when you buy a pair of skates. And obviously you can get them, 2 or 3, 4 days quicker. Sometimes it's a week quicker, sometimes it's 2 weeks quicker than us, because we rely heavily on them being in stock in the UK. If they're not in stock in the UK, we get them from further afield. Just how we've always worked it. Maybe we're behind the times, I don't know, but we can't work it any other way.
One of the other things I said earlier on the video was how I feel like we're punching above our weight for what we are.
We've always done that from day one. We've always ran before we could walk. We bend over backwards and it bites us in the arse, to be honest. I try to be helpful as much as I can. It bites us in the arse. People come in, they come in and they spend an hour of my time, my experience, my knowledge. I price a full kit for them. I give them all their sizes. I chat them through the differences in the ranges and why they fit the body differently. And they go, thanks very much, cheerio. And then they come in a week later and went, I got a really good deal on Hockey Monkey. I got a really good deal on Amazon. I got a really good deal on Joe Blogs down the street. Bought it second hand on Gumtree, isn't it wonderful? And do you know what really annoys me? It's the people that tell other customers in the shop, oh, you should, when you're down in Sheffield, you should pop in and get it from so and so. It infuriates me. I don't get your work and say you're really shit at your job, I should go to your competitor because you're crap. I don't tell you that.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Kind of said in the video earlier that we bend over backwards in our customer service as we try and pride ourselves in our customer service. Yes, there will be times when we don't have time to message you and update you every single making moment of every single hour of every single day about your product or your order that you've made. But
I'm not perfect by a long shot. I do drop the ball. I try very hard not to. I think I'm asking for a bit of understanding to understand the mitigating circumstances behind why I may or may not have dropped the ball, and I will make it up to you. But we're extremely busy. I've got my own health concerns and everything else that slows me down and that I can't run at 100 miles an hour. And you'll probably find that because I've been up at 5 o'clock this morning that I'll be in my bed for about 8:30. Probably beat the kids tonight.
Meanwhile, you'll have me who's still awake 3, 4, 5 in the morning because
You're the opposite.
whether I'm editing, whether I'm filming or in my spare time, or if I'm working on the website or the old website that doesn't work.
Aye. So, yeah. That's our rant for today. But
I think that's a good one. That's nearly 35, 40 minutes, I think. Maybe less. Depends how the edit goes.
I do apologise to anybody that's taken offence at this. Please take it with a pinch of salt. Yeah, a wee bit of understanding, that's all we're asking for.